On June 3rd, 2026, the chief scientist of the world's largest battery company stood up at a forum in China and named the chemistry he thinks comes after lithium-ion. His name is Wu Kai. The company is CATL, and the chemistry is lithium-air. Within a day, the number 12,000 watt-hours per kilogram was on news sites around the world, described as the energy density of gasoline. CATL has not built that battery. The working prototype sits in a laboratory in Illinois, and CATL's own timeline puts deployment after 2030. In this video, we will take a look inside the battery that breathes. The cell that actually exists was described in the journal Science on February 22, 2023 by a team from Argonne National Laboratory and the Illinois Institute of Technology. It ran for 1,000 cycles at room temperature, and Argonne projected an energy density of 1,200 watt-hours per kilogram. Larry Curtis of Argonne put it plainly, saying the lithium-air battery has the highest projected energy density of any battery technology being considered for the next generation beyond lithium-ion. However, many people read that June announcement as a product launch. CATL sold 661 gigawatt-hours of batteries in 2025 and holds about 39% of the global market for electric vehicle cells. Well, the truth is that a company that size did not announce a battery in June. It announced a limit. If you have ever seen a headline promising a battery with the energy of petrol, you would have seen a real number. But that doesn't mean it describes a battery anyone can buy. So what exactly did CATL say in June? And what is it like inside the American laboratory that built the cell the world's biggest battery maker is now betting on? To understand why CATL went looking, it helps to look at the ceiling it is standing under. The best lithium iron phosphate cells in production reach about 205 watt-hours per kilogram, and the best nickel manganese cobalt cells reach about 265. On April 21st, 2026, CATL announced its third-generation Qilin battery at 280 watt-hours per kilogram and a condensed version at 350. Those are the best numbers in the industry, and they are the result of 30 years of work. Lithium-ion has a theoretical ceiling of roughly 400 watt-hours per kilogram, and nobody has ever reached it. Mohammed Asadi, one of the scientists behind the lithium-air cell, described the situation in a single sentence: lithium-ion technology is nearing its ceiling. At the same time, the industry has spent a decade promising the thing that comes next, and solid-state batteries have been announced, re-announced, and delayed by almost every major manufacturer. In October 2025, CATL had to publicly deny a rumor that it would mass-produce a 2,000-kilometer solid-state battery in 2027. Commercialization, including supply chain development, is still some distance away, the company said, and it added that it had never announced a 2,000-kilometer battery. CATL's own solid-state timeline is small-scale production in 2027 and mass production in 2030. Its revenue in 2025 was 423.7 billion yuan, and its net profit rose 42%. So this is not a company in trouble. The company that makes 39% of the world's electric vehicle batteries is running out of room on the chemistry it sells. The replacement it has worked on for a decade is still 5 years away. That is the position a company is in when it starts talking about oxygen. When trying to understand this technology, it depends on two vital concepts which sound similar but are quite different: a lithium-oxygen battery and a lithium-air battery. A lithium-oxygen battery has worked since 1996, using a cathode open to a gas that has to be pure oxygen, supplied from a tank bolted to the cell. That is acceptable on a laboratory bench and useless in a car. On the other hand, a lithium-air battery breathes the atmosphere, which is only about 21% oxygen. The rest of it is the problem. Water vapor and carbon dioxide react with the lithium and leave deposits that block the pores in the cathode. Although the chemistry was proposed in the 1970s, that single difference is why it took until 2018 for anyone to build a cell that could breathe ordinary air. However, nothing is quite like the cell the Illinois and Argonne team published in 2023. It is a solid-state lithium-air battery, which means there is no liquid electrolyte anywhere inside it. The anode is lithium metal with no graphite, and the cathode is a porous structure open to the air with no nickel and no cobalt. Between them sits a composite electrolyte of lithium, germanium, phosphorus, sulfide nanoparticles in a modified polyethylene oxide polymer. The ceramic conducts lithium ions well, and the polymer stays flexible enough to hold contact between the layers as the cell expands and contracts. It ran 1,000 cycles at room temperature, and Argonne projected 1,200 watt-hours per kilogram, about 4 times a lithium-ion cell. The authors on that paper included Larry Curtis, Khalil Amin, and Mohammed Asadi across Argonne, Illinois Tech, and the University of Illinois Chicago. A cell that reached 1,000 cycles has to be compared with the number CATL announced in April, 350 watt-hours per kilogram from the largest battery manufacturer on Earth after 30 years, 1,200 from a national laboratory on a bench. So the question is where the extra energy comes from. The answer is that most of the cathode is not in the battery. In a conventional cell, the cathode is a heavy metal oxide that has to be mined, refined, and carried around for the life of the car. In a lithium-air cell, the cathode is the air outside, and the battery only holds the structure that lets it in. The second part is a trick with electrons, because when lithium meets oxygen, it can store 1, 2, or 4 electrons per oxygen molecule. Almost every earlier lithium-air battery locked into the 2-electron reaction, which produces lithium peroxide. The 2023 design pushed the chemistry to the 4-electron reaction, which produces lithium oxide, and it did it at room temperature because 4 electrons in the same space is roughly twice the energy. Getting there is difficult because the oxygen in air arrives as a molecule of 2 atoms bonded together. Lithium peroxide keeps both atoms, so it is simply easier to make, while lithium oxide requires breaking that bond. The team managed it with a catalyst on the cathode and the composite electrolyte underneath, and even lithium peroxide that does form appears to convert. The researchers say they are not entirely certain why. The most promising battery chemistry beyond lithium-ion works better than its designers can fully explain. The idea is older than the lithium-ion battery itself because lithium-air was proposed in the 1970s and the first working lithium-oxygen cell arrived in 1996, 20 years later. For the next 22 years, every version needed bottled oxygen, until in 2018, the Illinois group built the first cell that ran on ordinary air, and it lasted close to 700 cycles. On February 22, 2023, the same group published the solid-state design in Science, and the cycle count reached 1,000. In November 2024, 3 of the people involved turned the research into a company. Larry Curtis from Argonne became Chief Science Officer, Mohammed Asadi from Illinois Tech became Chief Technology Officer, and Benjamin Drake became Chief Executive. The company is called Air Energy, and it is based in Chicago. It was selected as a partner on the Department of Energy's ARPA-E Joules 1K program, which targets 1,000 watt-hours per kilogram. On June 26, 2026, it closed a seed round led by Resolute Venture Partners with Illinois Invent, Illinois Tech, and Evergreen Climate Innovations alongside. For example, the first applications are not cars because Air Energy lists electric aviation, defense systems, autonomous drones, and resilient energy infrastructure. Curtis describes the goal as 4 times the range and mission. At the same time, on the other side of the world, CATL was arriving at the same conclusion from a completely different direction. One route was a national laboratory following the chemistry for 50 years, and the other was a manufacturer running out of room. They met in June 2026. So look at what CATL actually did on that stage. It did not unveil a cell, a pack, a partner, or a date. It published a hierarchy: mature chemistry in the short term, solid state in the middle, lithium-air in the long term, and deployment after 2030. That is not a product announcement. It is a capital allocation. CATL spent 22.1 billion yuan on research and development in 2025 and employs about 23,000 research staff. When the chief scientist of a company that size names a chemistry, every supplier, every rival, and every one of those 23,000 people learns where the money is going. Announcement was aimed at them, not at car buyers. The battery CATL named is also being built in the United States with American public money by a national laboratory and a university. The largest battery manufacturer in the world pointed at work it did not do and does not own. That is not a weakness in the announcement. It is the clearest signal available that the chemistry is real, because a company with 772 gigawatt hours of factory capacity has every reason to talk up the batteries it already makes. CATL did not announce a breakthrough, it announced a direction. None of this is free. The 12,000 watt-hour figure counts the lithium and nothing else, ignoring the cathode structure, the electrolyte, the current collectors, the air handling, and the control electronics. Every one of those is mass that has to be carried. The record cell also has a very thin cathode, and a commercial cell needs a much thicker one to hold useful energy, which restricts the airflow the chemistry depends on. There is also a record to consider, because on April 19th, 2023, at the Shanghai Auto Show, Wu Kai announced a condensed matter battery at 500 watt-hours per kilogram. He said mass production for electric vehicles could start later that year. 3 years later, on April 21st, 2026, CATL announced a condensed battery at 350, same company, same chief scientist, same stage. The gap between an announcement and a battery is measured in years. Although the chemistry is real, the schedule is not settled. Air Energy is aiming at pilot-scale manufacturing, and its first customers are drones and aircraft rather than cars. The Department of Energy target it is working to is 1,000 watt-hours per kilogram at the pack level. Asadi has said there is a pathway beyond that to 2,000. Public money has been here before, because Polyplus Battery Company in California received an ARPAE award to build the world's first commercially available rechargeable lithium-air battery. That was more than 15 years ago, and the company is still working on it. CATL's own position is unchanged because lithium-air is a long-term direction, and the company expects development to continue past 2030. In the meantime, it will keep selling the chemistry it already has at 280 and 350 watt-hours per kilogram. The most important sentence in this story was not said by CATL, but by the people building the cell. Lithium-ion technology is nearing its ceiling. Everything that follows depends on whether anyone can build the thing that is above it. Now that's it, guys. What do you think about CATL's bet on lithium-air? What do you think about the future of battery technology in the years to come? Let's hear your opinions or views via the comments section. We'll be glad to hear from you. Please do not subscribe unless you are into science and technology, because that is what this channel is all about. Now let's watch another fantastic video from our channel. I'll meet you there.